England is a place with many cool features. The invention of sparkling wine, soccer, the Big Ben, pubs, castles, double-decker buses, and many other things all apply to this country. Hello, my name is Gus Vieira, and I'm your public speaker for today. Today we'll be talking about the historically rich country that is England. Before we segue into the speech, I'd like to give some basic information about this country. First and foremost, this is the flag of England. England is home to over 55 million people, making it the 21st largest country in terms of population. The GDP per capita for England is $51,000, making it sixth in the world. The Prime Minister for England is Keir Starmer, who is 62 years old and has been in office for less than a year. In today's speech, I'd like to talk about the culture of England, its many landmarks, and why there are so many varying accents in England. First, let's talk about the culture of England. England is a place with a very rich and diverse culture. There are many things that bring people to this country, such as soccer, its music, and its many museums. Let's start off with the soccer, or as they call it, football, in England. Soccer in England is much more than a sport. It's a way of life. Every weekend, 15 million people either attend games or turn on the TV to support their favorite team, and it gets absolutely crazy. With thousands of people shouting and urging their team on to victory, the noise can sometimes be heard for miles. Especially when it's time for the World Cup, over 30 million people join in to support their country. Soccer in England also has some very intense rivalries based off of location. Since Liverpool and Everton are both from the city of Liverpool, the game is very intense, and sometimes fights can even break out. When two rival teams play in England, it's called a derby. England is also very well known for its influence in music. England has produced some absolutely fantastic artists for every type of music. If you're in the rock, England has legends like the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and Queen. If you're in the pop, they have Adele, Ed Sheeran, and Dua Lipa. They even have multiple famous rap artists such as Dave and Central C. England is also home to many famous museums, such as the British Museum in London, which has the Rosetta Stone and Egyptian mummies. There's also the Natural History Museum, which has an amazing dinosaur exhibit and a giant blue whale skeleton. England is also home to many astounding landmarks, so let's talk about them. Firstly, there's the Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament. The Big Ben is a huge clock tower that is 316 feet in height and has surrounding buildings of British politics. Along with that, there's also the Tower of London, which is a castle that is home to the legendary crown jewels. This castle has served as a prison, a zoo, and even as a royal palace, and the Queen loves to go there. There's also Buckingham Palace, which is where the monarch lives. There's also the Shard, which is the tallest building in England, and it stands at over 1,000 feet tall. One of the most mysterious landmarks on England is the Stonehenge. And it's mysterious because no one knows the purpose of its construction or even who built it. Like what? It's also a mystery as to how they were able to move the stones in the first place. These stones are known as sarsens and can weigh up to 25 tons, making it nearly impossible to move by humans. So, how they move it? As for the purpose of this place, there are many theories behind it, such as some people think it was a burial ground or even a place of healing. Lastly, there is the Windsor, which in my opinion is the coolest landmark in England. Not only is it the oldest inhabited castle in the world, it is also the largest, so it would be a very interesting place to visit, and me personally, I want to go there. England is also a place of many questions, such as why there are so many accents in the country. Well, fear no more, because today I'll be answering your question. England is a place full of many accents, such as the Manc accent, which is an accent from Manchester, and very many London accents. This occurred for many reasons. One of these reasons is historical influences. Over time, many groups such as Vikings, Romans, Saxons, and Normans brought their languages and dialects, which affected speech. Another reason for this is the geography of England. Natural barriers like rivers and mountains kept many groups separated, which then led to the accents in different parts of the country being developed. Social class also has a huge part in the development of accents. For example, the received pronunciation, or RP, is what is heard on English broadcasting and is associated with how the upper class speaks. Likewise, the regional accents like the Geordie accent from Newcastle or the Manc accent from Manchester are more for the working class. The difference in areas such as urban versus rural is also a huge factor in accents. Since cities tend to have a bigger mix of people, they have more diverse accents. Rural areas also have more noticeable accents because they are more isolated. This is why accents like the West Country accent and the Yorkshire accent are very noticeable. The last factor that goes into this is migration and trade. Think about it. Places with ports such as Bristol often have many people from different places pouring in daily to do business, which contributes to accents. Places like Birmingham that are also full of migrant workers also bring in a lot of diversity, which affects accents. As my speech comes to a close, we learn about England's rich culture, its many amazing landmarks, and finally, why there are so many accents in England. So, next time you want to visit a country, consider England as one of your top options. Thank you, I'm Gus Vieira, and this is my speech on England.